everyone, it's Taylor here. Today I'm going to share with you how I created 12 months of this calendar in less than an hour. It all starts with the handcrafted calendar kit. At Tailored Expressions, each year we try to put out a unique calendar product for the purpose of creating handmade calendars for both ourselves and to give as gifts. If you're planning to create gifts, there are some elements in this month's kit that can be purchased separately. One of them is the calendar, the 5x8 grid box calendar, and also the walnut magnetic wood calendar hanger. So it all starts with the grid calendar that I'm holding here. It includes 12 individual months printed with the dates and days. On the back of each calendar, you'll see the month and year. Those are not included on the front, so we wanted to label them so there's no confusion as you go to create your calendar. Each kit also includes the magnetic walnut wood holder for the calendar. You can see those magnets just clip the wood pieces together. It's meant to sandwich your calendar months in between. You put about an inch of space of the calendar overlapping the two magnets and then clip those together. Each kit also includes a matching leather cord to tie through your calendar holder and allow you to hang it. So you're going to thread one side of that leather cord through and tie a double knot in the end, and then you're going to take the other end, place it through the opposite hole in the other side, and then again tie another double knot until you have a cord that will hang your calendar. Once you get your calendar all decorated, it can hang in your craft room or on your refrigerator or on the wall. You just sandwich each month in, clip it together with the magnet, and then hang it wherever you choose. The remaining items in the kit are designed to decorate your calendar. Each kit includes 12 stencil strips designed for each month of the year. Now, depending on which part of the world you live in, these might not correlate with your seasons or holidays, but you can mix and match these throughout the year to create your calendar. They're labeled in the bottom right corner, so you can see which months were designated to work with each of the stencils. This first one I'm holding is for January, so you would turn your calendar piece over, make sure you're working on the January calendar, and then you can stencil brush your different designs onto the calendar. As I said, the snowflakes are for January, hearts for February, a geometric triangle for March, raindrops in April, flowers in May. For June, we have waves or rainbow pattern. July is stars. August, we have a blowing leaf pattern. For September, it's a mum flower. October, we have bats. November is leaves. And December is Christmas trees. So again, you can stencil those on each month of the calendar, however you would like to designate them. Then we have our group text months stamp with the coordinating die. This will allow you to stamp and die cut all 12 months with this label die cut in one pass through your die cut machine. Then you can use those labels to place them over your stenciled borders and designate each month of the calendar appropriately. Now, once you've done that, you may want to also designate special occasions or holidays or seasons or certain appointments on your calendar boxes, and so you can do that with the It's a Date stamp set. Now, if you plan to give this as a gift, you may not want to designate special occasions or dates for your recipient, and so we have something special for gifting. We have our Stamp and Style pouch. So this includes everything your recipient would need in order to stamp their own occasions and dates onto the calendar. A tiny acrylic block, the It's a Date stamp set, and an Oreo ink cube. Even if your recipient is not a stamper, they should be able to figure out how to stamp those icons onto their calendar pretty easily. So let's get started on decorating a full year of calendar pages. I decided to keep my calendar pretty simple, and it took me less than an hour to complete this entire calendar. I'm starting here with January and taping down my stencil with a little bit of purple tape to protect my calendar on both sides from extra ink. I've done confetti cake all over and then put a few darker spots of Cookie Monster on that first layer for January. It's important to leave about an inch of white space at the top of each of your calendar months because that's where the magnetic holder is going to overlap. You want to see as much of the pattern as possible, so that's why it's important to shift the stencil down about an inch each time you're doing your blending. I started with pink champagne at the top, followed by Cherry Pop ink and mulled wine at the bottom for the ombre-looking hearts on February. Now we'll continue with March, which is a geometric pattern and really could be used for any of the months. I've started with pink champagne, and then I'm filling in other open areas with peaches and cream for something a little light and pastel. Then we have April, which is April showers, and we have the raindrop stencil. I'm starting with saltwater taffy, which is quite light, and I'll do an ombre blue here, so moving to a darker colored sprinkles, and then blueberry at the bottom. I do list out all of the ink colors that I'm using for each of these months in the description of the video, so you can check that out and write those down if you're interested in each one. So here we have May and the May flowers. We have guava ink and pineapple. Where those two colors are overlapping is going to create a beautiful orangey coral looking color. Then we have June, which could be waves. I chose to go, of course, in a rainbow order here. So I'm starting with Lollipop on the left and then overlapping slightly with the pineapple ink to give me my orange color. Again, with the Cookie Monster ink overlapping the pineapple gives me a green color, and then finishing off with the Jelly Donut gives me all the colors of the rainbow. Next we have stars. For us in the United States, July is known as the 4th of July, and so we celebrate our independence, and I decided to use Cherry Pop, sprinkles, and blueberry for the red and blue stars on the month of July. Now August is a little bit of a blowing leaf pattern, and it's not quite fall, so I decided to go with all green leaves. I'm blending over the top with Granny Smith, and then a little bit darker with cilantro ink, and then following last with the darkest ink, which is sweet basil. That gives me a little bit of a still summery leafy look. For September, we have the mums, and I decided to go with a pretty golden orange colored mums on this. I started with pineapple in the center of each, and then a little bit darker Dijon around the outside, and finished off with the sweet potato pie on the edges. For October, we have a bat pattern, which I've seen other designers use some really cool color combinations, some purple and orange in there. I decided to go traditional and used a light to dark with the Earl Grey first, spots of poppy seed, and then finishing off with the darkest Oreo ink around the edges. And next we have November, which is leaves, and I'm going with a traditional fall combination here with a few Dijon leaves, and then we have a few pumpkin colored leaves, and I'll finish off with the maroon colored mulled wine for the rest of the leaves. And last but certainly not least, we have the cute Christmas trees for December. I'm going to do something a little non-traditional. I use strawberry milkshake and lime zest along with Cherry Pop as well. I know you guys are seeing this in sped up edited video form, but altogether the blending for all 12 months took me about 33 minutes, I believe was my video clip time. I think my favorite part is that these simple blends will be easy for me to mass produce as gifts. So let's move on to the next step. I grabbed a piece of Oreo cardstock from my Simple Stacks pack, and I'm going to condition that with the embossing powder tool in order to keep the embossing powder from sticking to the areas that I don't want it to stick. I've stamped my stamp with Versamark ink, and then I'm placing white embossing powder over the top. Once the powder is completely heated, I make sure it's dry, and then I use a clean cloth to buff that excess residue off of the black cardstock. Next, we can take the coordinating group text die and line it up using those alignment squares. With one pass through the die cut machine, we have all 12 months die cut out. Next, I'm applying foam sticky strips to the back of each of the months, and then I can place them down over the coordinating blended backgrounds until I have a complete calendar. Now, the very last step is to take that tiny icon set, it's a date, and use an acrylic block to add the different holidays and occasions that you want to add. I just decided to do holidays, so I marked Valentine's Day, 4th of July, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. As one last and final step, I plan to give this as a gift, so I want to package it in one of our clear calendar boxes. I'm going to vary the direction of the labels because the foam sticky strips add a little bit too much dimension for these to all fit in the same direction. So once I've done that, I can place the month of January on the top so the recipient can see that, place it inside the calendar box, and add one of the walnut wood magnetic holders at the back of the calendar, and then close the box up and maybe even put some gift wrap on it. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can find the handcrafted calendar kit along with amazing samples from our creative team at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com.